Manic Monday, everybody. We are back. It's this guy, Sammy the Man McIntyre. We are back with Moving the Chains podcast. How are we doing, everybody, today? We have got lots to talk about. 3 games yesterday. Playoffs were fantastic this weekend. Every game coming down to the wire. Fantastic. It was cinema. Oh, thank you. Yep, the playoffs were just fine without the Chiefs in it. Okay? They were just fine. So I got a lot to talk about today. I want to touch on the first game, Bills-Jags. I got to touch on Justin Herbert last night. What the flying hell was that? I'll touch on that. Congrats to the Patriots. But I want to start with Bills-Jags. So I will never again doubt the Bills because of Josh Allen, who, by the way, accounted for 90% of their yards yesterday. And just to put a bow on it with Josh Allen, how good he is, I'm reading these numbers here. This is playoff numbers, okay? We all know what he's broken in the regular season. Broke Cam Newton's record of most rushing touchdowns by a quarterback and all that stuff. But I'm looking at these numbers in the playoffs. He's legendary. He might be the best playoff quarterback, stat-wise, I've ever seen. Probably with the Mannings and the Bradys and the Favres and Rodgers. 309.5 total yards per game. That's first all-time. Total TD to INT, 35-4, first all-time. Okay. Passer rating, 102.4, fourth all-time. Yeah, that just shows it. And yesterday with Buffalo, I said before the game, and I told my dad and my brother, I said, this is the game. This is Sean McDermott's job. You got to win this game. There's no excuses. No Burrow, no Lamar, no Herbert to get through. Okay? Now, you haven't played Herbert, but I'm saying that could be an obstacle for the Chargers. Not with this iteration of the Chargers with their bad offensive line, Herbert getting hit like a piñata. I'll touch on him. But just that kind of team, right? That's kind of given, the Bills fits in terms of running the ball and that, so on and so forth. And yesterday, Jacksonville kind of, first half, I'm like, uh-oh, what's going on? Why is this taking 20 hours? Why are we having false starts? Why are we doing stupid shit? Come on, Sean. Get your head out of your ass. And then I kind of found out, oh, yeah, this is why Josh Allen's Josh Allen. Great talent. I said it last year. It might have been 2 years ago in that playoff game against Pittsburgh. Not last year, but the year before. He's Brett Favre mobility. And I mean that sincerely. I think he's combination of Elway, Mahomes, anything. He's all-time talent. Now, how he will stack up long-term in the end, I don't know. But I watch the Bills because of that guy, Josh Allen. It's incredible. Now, I just wish sometimes they would do a better job at putting a better team around him. Because I still don't love this receiving corps. I still don't love this offensive line. I just don't. And Brandon Beane deserves some of the blame for this. I've been critical of him. And he's getting snippy with the media and the receiving corps. Yeah, dude, you had a shot at getting Jacoby Myers at the trade deadline. You didn't do it. So, yeah, I got problems. And you didn't get Jalen Waddle. Like, that would have been a difference maker in your pass game. You didn't have to go get Brandon Cooks out of whatever it was. So, I just, Buffalo's moving on. Congrats. Awesome. I'm here for it. And I'm not betting them against Denver. I'm not saying money line, but I'm not doubting the Bills from here on out. As long as they got 17 at quarterback, they're always in a chance. It's just like I said about the Green Bay Packers, or Aaron Rodgers, or Brett Favre. You're never out of it with those guys at quarterback. Same with Peyton Manning. So, that was my take on that game. And on the flip side to Jacksonville, you can't be so butthurt. Look, you did this without Travis Hunter. You're all pro. You're a Pro Bowler this year. Excuse me, I had to crack my neck. So, what I wrote some notes down, was Liam Cohen and Trevor Lawrence. Liam Cohen, 13 wins this year. Won the AFC South. Trevor Lawrence had 4,000 yards passing, 29 touchdowns. Looked like the real number 1 overall pick. Unlike yesterday. Because he kind of looked like he's looked. Kind of scattershot, whatever. And they were at home. It was kind of uneven the second half. But the other part of it is Parker Washington, 6th-round pick. He had a 7 for a $1.07 and TD yesterday. He's been a gem. I mean, there's so much talent around the NFL. Late-round guys, undrafted. You name it, man. And it's just cool to watch. And And Jordan Schultz, who I don't know personally, but I screenshot something yesterday. He said this. He said, not the result the Jaguars wanted, but this season felt like the start of something special for the organization. And I agree. I think you have to have your three guys in charge, right? James Gladstone, Liam Cohen, Trevor Lawrence. Those guys are in unison. And I also think there's talent all around this roster. Really, really good talent. Trayvon Walker, Josh Hines-Allen. The corners are okay. Like, they got speed at the linebacker. And I'm looking around, and Jacksonville's going to be hard out. If they continue this. Now, again, they had a great year this year. Can you sustain it? Time will tell. Because I've been bitten by the Jags in the ass over the years. Right? Great 2017 year. AFC Championship game. Should have beat New England. Whatever. But I see that, they kind of hit that ceiling, right? So we shall see what happens next. Can they sustain it? I don't know. But I will say this. They nailed it with the Liam Cohen hire. And goddamn Bay misses him right now. Because Baker went, ew, without him. So, great job for Jacksonville. Not all is lost there. Okay? Not all is lost in Jacksonville. You got your building blocks. You got your head coach. The quarterback's in unison. Little uneven yesterday in second half. Trevor Lawrence kind of showing me who he's been. But overall, Trevor Lawrence had a really good year. There wasn't a hotter quarterback in the league than him the last 8 weeks. So that's something you got to really build on if you're Jacksonville. Hit in the draft. Get better get some skill players. Get better, beef up the offensive line. Just get depth everywhere. I think they're really right there. And they're going to be a team continuing to be better year in, year out as long as Liam Cohen's your coach. Duval. Goofy mofo. So that was my take on the Bills-Jaguars game. But I got to touch on the Philadelphia Eagles. Because yesterday, to me, they were favored by 5.5 points at home. And the outcome was 23-19. So Philly almost covered that spread. But this wasn't about Philly. This was more about Philly yesterday. And I know San Francisco won, and I'll touch on them. But this is more Philadelphia. Cry, Eagles, cry. And you've been bitch, Eagle, cry all year long. Hey, A.J. Brown, got news for you. Shut the fuck up. Stop bitching. All your yappy. I want to be involved in the offense. Yeah. Catch the ball. They threw at you 3 times yesterday, and you dropped the ball, dumbass. I'm tired of this guy. Get rid of him. Today. And I got to say this. Nick Sirianni, got to go. Bye. I don't care you won Super Bowl. Bye-bye. Don't care. You're not buttoned up. You're not grown up to be a head coach. You're jawing with fans. You're barking with A.J. Brown. Get rid of these guys. It's time to go. I smell pussy. I smell candy asses. I smell it everywhere in Philly. And Jalen Hurts, this falls on you too. Because I wrote these numbers down. Yesterday, Jalen Hurts was 3 of 11. I repeat, 3 of 11 on 38 yards, 10 yards down the field. And you know what Brock Purdy was? 8 of 13 for 178. And it was kind of funny. He goes, it's hard to dink and dunk downfield. Yeah, no shit. So this falls on Jalen Hurts, AJ Dumbass, and Nick Sirianni. And I got to be honest with Nick Sirianni. He's overrated to me. I never liked him. I thought he's a tool bag with his, looking like a dick. I'm out. And this is a Howie Roseman-led operation. I said this a couple weeks ago. I'm going to continue saying it. He doesn't get any credit. He can't call offensive plays. He's very offensive coordinator reliant. And it's showing. Like, Ken Patullo is not cut out for this. And I'm watching yesterday. I'm watching San Francisco. They're doing so much different shit. Formation, shifts, motion, 11 personnel, 12, you name it. And this is without, San Francisco's, parts of the Ferrari. They've got, it's like a Honda Civic out there. I mean, they got guys that I've never heard of. My brother goes, Cleveland Farrell's playing. Yeah, he used to be a Raider. I mean, I don't even know half these guys. Demarcus Robinson was with the Chiefs a couple years ago. He's bouncing around. Now he's with the Niners finding a home. Looks great. That first play, or second play of the game, 61-yard chunk play. So I'm watching the Eagles. The Eagles' defense is not your problem. You picked off Purdy twice at home. You had a 27-yard punt by the Niners. The game's, it was there. But this Eagle offense, again, it was shitty all year long. And when you have more 3-and-outs in the second half of games, that's coaching. Like, come on, man. You got out-coached yesterday, Philadelphia. You got out-willed. You got out-physical. You got out-toughed. That's not Philadelphia. This is a city of brotherly love. This is tough. This is East Coast. Puff your chest out. Yeah, ego, America, woo! Oh, a mosh pit. You know? And I don't feel it with Philly. And I also noticed this with Jalen Hurts. And I respect everything about him as a player, as a person, the gamer. He's tough. He does all this stuff. But as a football player, he's flawed. And what I can't figure out with Jalen is, why are you not going to your strength and doubling down on it? You're a really good runner. And now you just don't want to run? Like that's your specialty. That's you dive into that. And I feel like with Jalen, he just doesn't want to do that. And he wants to be trying to be like something he's not. And he wants to try and be like Tom Brady or Peyton Manning. You're not that, dude. You're not that guy, pal. You need to just stick to what you are and go with that. And I don't get Philadelphia. I think there's got to be wholesale changes today or this week. Get rid of Sirianni. Oh, but you won a Super Bowl. I don't care. Doug Peterson won a Super Bowl. Good talk. He's gone. He was an offense coordinator just like Nick Sirianni was. So, if Philadelphia doesn't screw around, they're ruthless. They cut ties with people way quicker than they should. They're about results, man. And the results right now are not good. And I blame this only on Sirianni. I blame this on Jalen Hurts. And the other thing I got to say about Jalen Hurts is he's got to talk more. He's got to be more verbal. You know? I'm not saying you got to, like, be rah-rah guy, but just talk a little bit more. Beyond, you know, I just see him on the sideline sometimes during games, and I just don't see it. I don't think he's it. I think he's mid. I think he's got to have everything set up for him. Doesn't see the field really well. I'm out on Jalen. I don't think he's it. I think Eagles got to start fresh everywhere. Coach, quarterback, bye. Get rid of A.J. Brown tomorrow and trade him. Maybe in 2 months you do. Prior to the draft, who knows? But I'm doing that. You can't tell me that he's worth anything with the Eagles. He's done. He's tapped out. He doesn't care. Dropped 3 balls yesterday. One of them I feel like he dropped just on purpose. And that's why him and Sirianni got in that fight. So I'm kind of done with Philly and on that level. But on the San Francisco side of things, I'm blown away. I am blown away by what the Niners have done this year. The way that they fought, the way that they had like this character about them. I'm blown away. And I think it goes to show Kyle Shanahan deserves. And listen, I've been a critic of Kyle. I think he blows big games. I think he's just kind of underachieved a lot, had Super Bowl leads and blown them. But there's no denying this guy can coach. And this organization, I know they haven't won a Super Bowl in a long time, but as long as you got that guy a coach, and Brock Purdy kind of wears me out at times. He throws some picks that I go, oh, Jesus, Brock, what are you doing? But I like his mental toughness. I think he's a gamer. He's tough. Guys love him. He's great upstairs. That's the other thing. Quarterback, 75% up here. You know, we all talk about physical, which, again, I'm all for. I like physical freaks just like the rest of you. But it's more mental when it comes to quarterback. That's why I'm critical. That's why when I look at guys like Shedeur Sanders and all these guys trying to be cool, I don't need you to be cool. Be a little dorky, okay? Be yourself, though. That's all I need. So, I'm blown away by the Niners. I just can't say enough. Christian McCaffrey's an absolute stud. Their defense is rolling out me and you out there and my dad. They're rolling out with guys that I have no idea about. But great win by the Niners. They move on to Seattle. They're going to have some problems. And Seattle, we'll see how rusty they are because this is a young team and they had a bye week. And I'm a little nervous. If I'm a Seahawks fan, I kind of go, uh-oh. San Francisco's coming in hot. Now, again, losing Kittle, you have no idea the impact it hurts. Because I thought Fred Warner was the slight heart and soul of that team. Nah, Fred Warner is. Or George Kittle is. Maybe George Kittle on offense, Fred Warner on defense. So you lose both those guys. Bosa hasn't even been around. And, when I saw the game yesterday, when I saw Lane Johnson was out, it really didn't matter. The Niners can't get sacks. So we'll see how far the Niners go. They probably will lose to Seattle in Seattle this upcoming weekend. But if they do lose, hat tip off to Kyle Shanahan and his staff. Because they absolutely, blew the doors off Sirianni and Patullo. I mean, one team has Chat GPT, the other one is doing crayons, okay? It was not even a fair fight. So, I'm blown away by that, and congrats to the 49ers. They move on, and the Philadelphia Eagles push their way home on their asses to the couch. So that is where I'm at with that game. And last but not least, the game that was the 8 o'clock window game last night, the San Diego Superchargers. Even though they're LA, I still consider them the San Diego Chargers. And that song was courtesy of my man, Caress the Man Berman, from ESPN when it was good back in the day. Not now, because they're absolute garbage. But, having said all that, my man Justin Herbert, and people go, Sammy, what do you think? Justin Herbert, is he a bum? Well, he's 0-3 in the playoffs. He blew a 27-0 lead Jacksonville, threw 4 picks last year, and last night was struggling. Now, I could argue this. Put a caveat with it. Their offensive line's awful. Herbert's done this a couple times in his career with bad offensive lines. I mean, he got hit 160 times this year and been sacked 54 of them. What do you want him to do? His tackles were out. They had to mismatch everything. And yeah, it worked for a little while. But then it catches up. For a big a guy as he is, those hits keep coming. And they do. And I still believe in Jim Harbaugh. I still believe in Justin Herbert. But last night kind of put whoa. They are a mile away. They've got a lot of work to do in the offseason. You know, I'm reading comments. I watched the highlights before I got on here. You know, do you fire McDermott? Or do you fire Greg Roman? What do you do? I don't know. But it was alarming last night. And, I mean, Herbert, good hell, he had half the Chargers rushing game. So, I just, to me, I think you got to look at, from a standpoint with the Chargers, okay, what more can we do to help Herbert? Now, I do get, you brought in Harbaugh to kind of fix the chargering and all that. They didn't blow that game last night. New England was the better team. They deserved to win. The Chargers, you know, this is some of their fault too, because they just thought, well, we'll rest our guys. We'll get ready for New England. We can play Denver. No big deal. Wrong. They're not there yet. And I thought this year they would be. And I'm wrong. Listen, I still believe Harbaugh can get a Super Bowl. I really do. Now, I know Raider fans are laughing this morning. You know, Chargers have 0 rings, put the jersey on. Yeah, it's still true. They have Big Donut. I got it. But I don't know, man. I'm starting to kind of, with Herbert, kind of wonder. Like, is this Peyton Manning again? Like, great regular season, can't do it in the post. It's starting to really feel bad. And I got to wonder with the Chargers what happens moving forward, because I'm going to be intrigued. Because Omar Hampton, where's he at? He was a no-show last night. Their offensive line was awful. I mean, Herbert got sacked 6 times, got hit 11. I mean, that last hit where he got like that with his body, it was hard to watch. And kudos to New England, because that under-the-radar defense flew around all night long. They wanted violence. They just imposed their will. And that's kind of crazy, because Jim Harbaugh wants to do that to you. Mike Vrabel did that to him and bullied him all night long up in the Foxborough cold. So, in terms of the Chargers moving forward, I do think they're still a really good football team. Jim Harbaugh, I love Jim Harbaugh. I like Justin Herbert a lot. But like my Uncle John said, kind of went in the post. And again, Peyton Manning, it took a while to get that going. And his numbers are pretty similar to Peyton Manning early on. The playoffs are hard. You know? And the Chargers just seem like they have these injuries at the worst inopportune times with their running game, with their wide receivers. So, moving forward, I would trust them more than I do the Raiders yeah. But the Chargers are going to be okay. They're going to get the 2 tackles back next year. They're going to have them healthy, hopefully. So, it's a shame. I get people detracting on Herbert. I get it. And I'm kind of starting to, too. And I'm going to kind of be one of those people like, I like him a lot, but I don't love him because he's got to win the post. So, that's my take on the San Diego Superchargers, the Los Angeles Chargers. But I call them the San Diego Chargers. And on the flip side to New England, what a year. I mean, what a turnaround. if you would have told me a year ago, hey, guys, the Patriots would be 4-13, and this year they're going to be the number 2 seed. You go, huh? That was what New England did. And Adam Black, who I know he's a pretty big Patriots fan, he could acknowledge, he didn't see this coming, but I knew it. When you got Mike Vrabel, kick ass, take names, you're ready to go. And he's a football guy. He's 6'4", 260, presence, alpha, Dan Campbell, packing his dip in, doing the skull, and he's, America, baby. But he's phenomenal. And Drake May's really found his rhythm with Josh McDaniels. And I'm blown away. And the crazy part is with New England, I said this a couple times, they're a year away still. I think they need a lot more replenishing to me when it comes to the offensive pieces. I like Booty. I like Henderson's great. I mean, that block he had to pick up the blitzer last night on Henley was fantastic. I mean, that was one of the big praises that he got pre-draft. Everybody's talking about Junkins and all that. Henderson was the better player because he could pass pro. I'm not saying that Quinshawn couldn't, but when I watched Ohio State or I watched New England, the times I've watched, he pass pros better than any back in the league. Kind of like Zeke Elliott when he came out of Ohio State, right? Complete back, speed, power, you name it. And I'm watching last night, and my guy Will Campbell, baby, he struggled last night. I will give you that. Will Campbell's a rookie. He struggled. But he's still my guy. I love Will Campbell. You guys know me, my stance. I said to my dad, this is my guy. He's a badass, tough guy, right off the Mike Vrabel block. He's a football player. He's a badass. And I love Will Campbell. Having him at left tackle helps tremendously. They're going to keep solidifying that to make Drake May better and protected. He struggled this year, okay? You got beat by Myles Garrett. Who doesn't, okay? Myles Garrett's a freak show. He's one of the best pass rushers of my lifetime. Along with Julius Peppers and other guys. So I'm not putting too much stock into it. But moving forward, New England, they move on. They either play Denver or they play one of the teams. So we're going to find out. We still got the Pittsburgh game going on. I'm recording this right before I hop on. Right before the game starts at about 8 o'clock. We'll see what happens to that. But that was an absolute clinic last night by the New England Patriots. It was cool to see Foxborough kind of live again after years of down. So that was really cool. So that is all I got for you guys tonight. Manic Monday. Meaty Monday with football talk. I got so much takes today. Hope you guys are doing well. We're going to start watching Steelers and Texans. That is going to be a black and blue physical football game. I cannot wait. I'll give you guys my reaction stat tomorrow. Hope you guys are doing well. Love the support of this podcast. Adios. Godspeed.